At Kailash, we've put a lot of effort into ensuring our steel is as good as we can possibly make it. We triple normalize, perform our heat treat heats in a forge baffle for smoother and more controllable heat, and we temper in a controlled electric oven 3 times to ensure we eliminate any brittleness from retained austenite. We recently swapped to 80CR V2 on made-to-order blades to push the quality of our steel even further. Once it comes out of the temper oven though, our grinding processes have historically been pretty similar to the rest of the industry, and Nepalese steel has a bit of a reputation for being overheated when grinding. As far back as 1999 this was reported on. Cliff Stamper reviewed some Nepalese-made kukris and came to the following conclusion. The steel is not too bad. You just have to give it a proper sharpen a few times to get through the overheated steel and get down to the good stuff. Since then, a greater awareness of overheating while grinding has taken root in some of the more quality-focused houses in Nepal, and the blades are periodically dunked into buckets while grinding. We also did this, but every now and again would get reports from customers that the steel was good, but needed a few sharpenings to get very good. This implied overheated steel at the edge. So why don't buckets work? Put simply, as you get closer and closer to final sharpness, the steel at the edge gets increasingly thin. Thinner steel gets hotter quicker and cools down quicker. At the kind of extreme thinness we experience on the sharp edge of a knife, the edge can go from room temperature to overheated in an instant and cool down an instant later. You can't dunk it into a bucket quickly enough to keep control of the edge temperature. This brings us to today's update, mist cooling. Compressed air and water are pushed under high pressure through a very fine nozzle to create a cloud of very cold air. This air continuously flows over the blade and wheel and does a great job of constantly keeping temperatures low and pulling away any heat. Putting this change into place was not easy though. This is a very new process to Nepal, and so the team were rightly worried that the moisture could weaken the stone grinding wheels or homemade sandpaper wheels and cause them to explode when spun, a very scary and dangerous outcome. To solve this, we swapped to a fully waterproof adhesive for the sandpaper wheels and confirmed with the manufacturer that the stone wheels can't be damaged by water. The team were worried that the blades would be slippery and wet when polishing. We took extra care to set the flow of air and water up correctly so that there are no actual droplets to create a slippery blade. Only very moist, very cold air. The big challenge here was actually in our dust wheels. These are bound cotton wheels that are coated on the surface with a natural animal glue called chapra, and then rolled in hard iron dust, which acts as an abrasive when the wheels are spinning. The team love these wheels, as they are slightly soft, helping them to remove steel slowly and conform to the shape of the surface slightly. The animal glue is temperature sensitive though, and at these colder temperatures it would get hard and brittle and stop grabbing the iron dust properly. We tried multiple alternative modern glues and resins, but eventually created a slightly altered chapra formula that holds up and operates well at lower temperatures. As a result, we can now confidently ensure that the steel that arrives to you is just as hard when it reaches your door as when it leaves the temper oven. Mist cooling and good technique ensures that no hardness is lost during any stage of grinding, finishing, or sharpening.